So you know the meaningful use requirements will continue to expand. I understand that popHealth has been developed to be very extensible.
That's correct. So popHealth is really a framework for building quality measure reports. And that's nice in that it's extensible. Quality measure reports are approachable for software developers because we built them using JavaScript, so using technologies that web developers are pretty familiar with and that they can hack on pretty easily. So I think that's one of the benefits that you get with popHealth is that we didn't write it with just these 44 in mind. It's really a quality reporting framework so that as meaningful use expands or as new quality reports are written maybe even outside the scope of meaningful use but are just generally helpful to clinicians, they can easily be implemented in popHealth. And again, this being an open source project, we hope that people take popHealth and they experiment with it and they write their own quality reports. It's really a framework for asking questions of patient populations. And it's, again, as I've said before, it's pretty easy to just get in there and write some JavaScript and come up with your own questions that you can start to ask about patient populations. So hopefully researchers can find this as a useful tool to do clinical studies.
MITRE was chosen to create popHealth. Maybe you should explain a little bit about MITRE and why the ONC wanted them to do it.
Right, so MITRE is a federally funded research and development center, and what that means is we're a nonprofit organization. We were actually set up by Congress to work in the interest of the American public. And MITRE traditionally has played a systems engineering role for various parts of the government, and now we're working with Health and Human Services. What that allows us to do is objectively build a reference implementation for these quality reports. We can step back and take a systems engineering point of view on this to ask questions like, can these patient summary documents be used for things like quality reporting? Because that wasn't really their intention when they were created. But we can step back and ask those sort of questions and answer them in an unbiased fashion because we're not necessarily worried about a profit at the end of this effort. Our greatest interest is, can we improve the health IT infrastructure of the American public?
You were talking to me about the DIRECT project before and saying that popHealth could be integrated with that.
That is correct. So right now, popHealth takes patient summaries in just through a basic HTTP post. But the DIRECT project could certainly be used as one way to input information into the popHealth project. So that's not a feature that we currently support, but I could easily imagine being able to provide popHealth with a direct address so that providers could email patient summaries into using DIRECT, send direct messages into popHealth to load in their patient summaries. And on the output end as well, so that as they're generating their quality reports, that a quality report could be sent via direct message to a reporting agency or even to a clinician so that they can get feedback on how they're doing.
I think the DIRECT project, when it was begun, took a very agnostic view of the format. They said, we're dealing with the transport. We're not going to worry about what's in the document. But now they're beginning to look at standards for documents, and I think that's where popHealth might come in.
Right. So I'm sure for patient summaries, they're looking at formats like the C32 as well as the CCR. So that's certainly a place where DIRECT and popHealth would line up pretty well. I'm not sure what they're looking at right now for quality reporting or for any sort of output type formats, but it does seem like, as you mentioned, they are pretty payload agnostic. So carrying a payload like PQRI, or even if we wanted to do something as simplistic as taking sort of the web interface and dumping it into a PDF or a static HTML page to report back to a clinician, that would be something I could imagine happening in the popHealth project.